Harsh Tiloti, Vice President of DNB Advisory, and he's a sports expert there. And Abhay Agarwal, founder and fund manager with Papa Sikra, joins us. Now let's take that conversation forward. Abhay, I'll start with you. A PE friend of mine once told me that Indians, they want everything free, but we will always pay for three things: Bollywood, cricket, and education. Now we're not discussing education, and we're not discussing Bollywood, we're discussing cricket here. We are a business channel, and our viewers want to know that how can they make money by betting on the Indian IPL league or the cricket mania. You've done some work and analysis on that. Let's take it forward.
Yeah, thank you, Nikunj. First of all, really nice to be talking to you. So, for the investors to participate in these opportunities that IPL presents, as far as the franchises themselves are concerned, none of them are listed, but RCB is owned by United Spirits, Mumbai Indians is owned by Reliance, but again, small parts of their balance sheet. CSK is the only one where shares trade in the private market because there's a large retail shareholding in CSK. And we have seen the prices go up from 15 rupees 3 years back to now well over 200 rupees. So as far as participation in franchises is concerned, I guess it is through these. And I think the new Lucknow team is also owned by one of the Goenka Group venture companies that is listed. So there are indirect ways that you can participate in the franchisee value creation.
Abhay, let's get in your outlook as well. Atul, with the two teams now, new teams making okay, apologies for that, Harsh. With the two new teams making money, given that they're going to be required to make a huge cash outlay as well towards the BCCI for franchisee rights. So, do you see them making money despite this?
It's very difficult at this point of time, because if you look at, we've been actually analyzing IPL for the last 8 to 10 years. And if you see the first lot of 8 teams which came in 2008, they almost took close to 8 to 10 years to turn profitable, at least all of them. So now with, somebody like RSPG paying close to $1 billion, their annual outlay will be approximately 700 crores to BCCI. For them to turn profitable anytime soon will be very difficult. It will take some time for them to actually reach that level where they will even break even. But we can assume at least for the next 6 to 8 years, it will be very difficult for these two new teams to turn profitable. However, for that to achieve for them, there are two factors that will contribute. One is obviously the broadcast rights, which are up for renewal, not this cycle, but maybe the next cycle in 2028. And the second thing will be merchandising. Okay, globally, if you look at all the major sporting brands, merchandising is a major revenue driver for some of these franchisees globally. And for some reason, IPL has not been able to tap into it. It is still at a very nascent stage, largely because of the counterfeit market that is in India. So if these franchises are able to crack the merchandising market, the F&B and the ticket, the match day revenue market, then I think they will turn profitable slightly sooner.
Interesting. Abhay, also, will the two new teams make money, considering that they will be sort of, required to make huge cash outlay, I'm understanding, towards BCCI for franchisee rights as well?
Yeah. So as Harsh said, let's go back to 2008 when 8 teams were auctioned for about $720 million. So $90 million per team was the value then, and which has gone up to more than 10x now, as per the recent ones. Now, if you the way that the franchisee pays fees to BCCI is that it pays 1/10 of the price every year. So that's the cash outflow. If you look at the old franchises right now, they are paying about, let's say, 300 crores or thereabouts every year to BCCI. But now next year onwards, based on the new annual media rights that will be up for bid, the expectation is that BCCI will collect 10,000 crores compared to 3,500 crores that it is collecting right now for media rights per year. which means that the franchises will collect about 500 crores or thereabouts per year from the central pool that BCCI will give them. And if they pay 300 crores out of that to BCCI as franchise fees, plus let's say another 100 crores as 150 crores as incidental costs, and then the franchises also make another 100 crores from endorsements and gate fees and other smaller items. So you can expect that old franchises, the old 8 ones, will make about 150 crores of free cash flow from next season onwards, not from this season, from next season onwards. The new ones will not benefit from that because their franchise fees is anything now from 900 crores to 700 crores per year. So they are going to be at a disadvantage for, my guess is, another 4-5 years till the next media rights come up. But again, IPL is a long-term game. I don't think any of these franchises are getting into it looking at what is going to happen in next 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 seasons.
Right back to you, but Abhay, I have a follow-up question. So let's make it very simple. The only pure play right now for any average investor is that you buy the shares of Chennai Super King. That's the only one, because for Reliance it's a very small part, for McDowell it's a very small part. You can't buy it directly or indirectly. Yeah. So if somebody says, look, I'm a long-term investor, and I'm using the word long-term investor here, I don't worry about daily changes. Do you think a stock price of Chennai Super King, the enterprise value, can be 2 or 3x in 5 years?
Based on our analysis, we believe that at about $1 billion, Chennai Super Kings is currently trading at a market cap of about $800 million, you can say. So, I think the fair value for a long-term investor is, let's say, $800 million to $1 billion. I don't think it is going to grow to 3x of that in 5 years, or even probably maybe it can go to 2x, and that will be driven by the expansion of its profitability now, because it is the most profitable franchise. Even in the worst of times, like last year with a curtailed season, it made a net profit of 50 crores. So if I was to bet on one franchise being valuable, I would say it will be CSK. But I think a lot of return has already been generated in the short term over last 3 years. When it was given out in 2019 to now in 2022, the stock price has gone from 15 to 200. So a lot of it is already captured. Now 200 going to 400 to 500 in next 5 years, I think it's a great possibility. I don't think it will not happen, but will 200 go to 600 or 700? I doubt it.
Harsh, let's say we are bullish on IPL, we are bullish on cricket. I like your views. I appreciate your optimism, but ultimately my viewer is saying, please ask Harsh that how can I make money in this mega trend called IPL? So how would you advise on that front? But it's about making money on this channel, right?
See, absolutely. So here, especially as Abhay was mentioning, CSK is the only one which is available in public domain, right? So you have unlisted shares available in the grey market. And if you look at the current grey market premium for CSK, it is actually, it's actually become a unicorn. And it will be very difficult for somebody to get into, to make money in IPL at this point of time, especially for a new investor. It will take time, and cricket in India is still, you can say it's part of a closed group, right? Especially the investing in cricket. So it will not be that easy in the near future.
Okay, and there's lots of moolah as well when it comes to, the sponsors of IPL. And I want to talk about that as well, Abhay. New age startups, the likes of Swiggy, Cred, Unacademy, they've all replaced those very traditional sponsors like Coke and Pepsi. So is this a short-term phenomenon, or are you now seeing unicorns in the IPL for the long haul? You've also got Byju's now, who's the official sponsor for FIFA.
No, it's not an Indian phenomenon. You go back, where is the playbook coming from? This playbook is coming from what happens in NFL, in Super Bowl in the US. The biggest brands, the biggest launches are all held back for these events because they get the maximum eyeballs. Live sports globally is the biggest reality show if you can package it well. And millions of people dial in and pay top of the money sitting at home on their cable channels to watch these events. In fact, I was just reading that 5 crore people watched the auction. Can you imagine 5 crore people watched just the auction? It wasn't even a match, but just to figure out which teams are taking up which players. I mean, it's just incredible. So IPL, like other global sports events, is the number one property. You talk to any advertiser, any well-funded startup to create brand, to create new launches. In fact, I believe Tata Neu is going to launch a super app during this IPL because it is the best time for them to do that, and they are the title sponsors for this year. So I think every brand, everyone who wants to launch a national level brand, this is the property for them. I mean, and that's the reason that the media rights are expected to go up by 3 times in the next cycle.
Damani, and this is good old Ramesh Damani, who always has something very interesting, thinking long term, but this time he's thinking not days, months, years, decades, because he feels that if you bet on the cricket fever in India, you're going to be creating a nest egg for your grandchildren, because you can be reasonably sure that this is one sport which is not going to die. Let's hear him out and then we'll wrap the discussion.
And he's been very bullish, for example, on the the sporting business in India, particularly looking at the IPL, what a rage has become, and the valuations that the TV deals that could happen next month will go at. I think the last set of deals went at about 16,000 crores. This time, I think he feels that go upwards of 40, 45,000 crores. So how do you play that? You can either play that through the media businesses, or you can play that through the IPL franchises. And there are lots of ways you can play that. Some are listed directly, some are in the unlisted market. So he's brought that kind of thinking into my thought. But together we've tried to design a portfolio for my grandchildren and his children that, they could enjoy the benefits of compounding that I enjoyed. As I've often told you.
Interesting to hear Ramesh Damani talk about something other than the market. But of course, as we said, he had quite an insightful take on IPL. Harsh, the broadcast rights as well are up for renewal this season, and there's already a number of players in the race for it. Do you think that, we spoke about the Tatas as well. Do you think that for BCCI there's a windfall, that when one can be expected?
Definitely, because if you look at the last broadcast rights, which got renewed in 2017, so nobody expected it to be such a windfall, right? So $2.5 billion. So this time, with the addition of 2 new teams, the increase in number of games, and the way IPL has been growing in the last 10 years, it's gone phenomenally. So there is definitely, we expect at least it to grow by double of what it was last time, 5 billion plus, and depending on the number of matches, that will actually keep going. So, for example, if you look at it on a per match basis, the last rights were around 58, 59 crores per match. So this time we expect it to be more than 100 crores per match.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure interacting with you. Abhay as well as Harsh, thanks very much for joining in and decoding the money-making ideas behind IPL, if you will, as well as what's in store.